Hi FlossTube, it's Christine, and today is July 4th, 2024. Happy Independence Day. This is my channel, Hollis Create, and it's a channel about cross stitch and some other crafty endeavors from time to time. Today I'm just going to show you cross stitch. I am planning to try to do some of more incorporating some other things like some quilting and crochet. As you know, I've been working, if you followed me or have watched me, I've been working to set up my craft room, go through some things, get my walls done. I've added a lot of things, but anyway, I've pulled out tons of quilting projects and things like that I think are also worth showing. So, but today it's going to be primarily cross stitch. Thank you for stopping by. If you are new to my channel, again, this is a channel about cross stitch. I hope you will give it a watch for a bit and hopefully find some inspiration. And if you are a return subscriber, thank you so much for joining me and continuing to come back. I appreciate it. Today I want to kind of start something that's kind of difficult. My mom passed on June 3rd, and if you've been watching me for a while, I'm gonna kind of try to keep this together. You know that I have been not dealing with, because that's not really the words that I want to say, but I have been living along with my mom for really since 2018, when she had a major life event, which was a heart attack that was actually 100% blockage of the aorta, what they call the widowmakers. It's she flatlined twice, and this last 6 years have basically been a gift. It's been God's gift for that much extra time with her, because it's when they sent her home, we thought it was going to be a matter of days to weeks, and we got 6 years. So I'm very grateful. But anyway, so she did pass, and we're very glad that she's not in any pain any longer, and she was ready. She was definitely ready. So that leads me into a description of comfort stitching, and I want to kind of talk about that because it seems like it's been a big topic on FlossTube and Instagram and among the stitchers, and I think there's all kinds of comfort stitching. And as I was going through, a lot of the things, or we've been going through a lot of the things at my mother's house, I want to show you a couple of things that I had stitched for her way back in the early 90s. And though these types of stitching isn't something I do now, she always said when she looked at it, it made her happy. And to me, that's also comfort stitching. It's maybe not just the type of stitching or, your purpose of when you're sitting and doing it. Is it bringing you comfort? Is it giving someone else comfort? There's a lot of descriptions and definitions to comfort stitching. Anyway, I pulled a couple of things off the wall. There's still some more at my mom's house, but I thought, well, I'd show. This is one that I had stitched for her, and I believe it was just like a dimensions kit. Like I said, again, in the early 90s, has the little hanger that comes with it and ends with the, the little tassel. And obviously it's a Christmas bell pull. And my mom actually hung it up on the entry towards the kitchen, and that's where it stayed. It's been hanging there since probably 93, 94, something like that. It's definitely been hanging there for at least 30 years. She would pull it off now and again and just dust it. And I would always say to her when we would go down, Mom, that's really for Christmas. And she said, that's okay. I like seeing it every day. So that to me meant that it brought her comfort. And then another one that I had stitched for her a long time ago as well. I believe it was in 92, but I'm not 100% on that. And that is this one. Happiness is Homemade, and this hung in the kitchen. So I brought it home, and it's either going to hang somewhere in my kitchen. I'm not sure. I don't have a ton of wall space in my kitchen, but it may hang down there, or I may actually, put it on the wall behind me. I'm not sure. But this was, obviously done in an oak frame. It's actually padded. I think, well, it's kind of hard to tell, but this is actually got some padding, so it kind of poofs out just a little bit. And again, it was one that hung in her kitchen, and she did pretty well. It had a little bit of dust on it that I had to kind of, remove, and there is one tiny little spot there. But for the most part, considering the age, I think it held up pretty well. So these things, when I look at them, now give me comfort because I know that she enjoyed them. And I love them. So I'd be interested to know, what your description or what your thoughts are on comfort stitching. I've seen all kinds of, posts and things, and talking, especially when it comes to FlossTube, about what's comfort stitching and what makes you comfortable when you watch FlossTube, or when you look through Instagram, or when you're just sitting and stitching. I find that topic very interesting, and maybe, not perplexing, but maybe even just makes you kind of question, what your contribution is, and is it something that you're putting out there that gives other people comfort or gives yourself comfort. So I'd love to hear it. If you'd like to respond, I would be grateful to read your comments, and if not, that's okay too. Okay, so I'm actually going to start with a couple of gifts that I received, because I don't want to leave out when someone takes the time to, again, make me something or give me something that is a gift from their heart, because that gives me comfort and it makes me very happy, and I think it should be acknowledged. I do give giveaways occasionally. Sometimes it's every time, sometimes not. But and if you win a giveaway, it is not incumbent or required for you to send me a thank you card. But occasionally, I will get a little thank you card and something. And this time, I wanted to say thank you so much for the little gift that Kim Fishlin, who won one of the La-Di-Da needle books, sent to me. And she sent me a sweet little card, and I also received this, which I think is awesome. And I have a couple of things that I think I want to do. I actually think I want to attach this to one of my pool bags, because I know that this is the 100% cotton that I actually also use and make dishcloths and things like that of. And so I know it'll wash well, or it'll get wet and dry well. And but I just, again, wanted to say, thank you very much for that. And then the second gift, I had fully intended to show on my FlossTube as I received it, just literally within a few days of my mom's passing, but prior to her passing. And the gift, which I will insert pictures of, is something that I had been showing as the very beginnings of a whip that I was doing for my oldest daughter, Brittany, who has our 2 grandchildren, Alaska and Diana, and she really loved Catch the Wind. And it's a Told in a Garden pattern. I had shown that, like I said, at the very beginning as a whip, and one very, very super generous, kind watcher actually had asked me, she'd messaged me through the shop, and she's also a customer, and asked for my address. And I was like, okay, so I sent her my address. And one day, like I said, a couple of days right before the beginning of June, I had a box arrive, and there was the stitched Catch the Wind. And I was absolutely flabbergasted. I mean, I was just so overjoyed and overwhelmed by the generosity of that gift. Again, I'm inserting some pictures. And the reason I don't have it to show, and I hope she will be thrilled to hear this, is because obviously my daughter Brittany traveled from Italy to come for her grandma's funeral. She was the oldest grandchild, so she was pretty close with my mom. So I wrapped the gift up and she took it back with her to Italy. And so the one of the pictures that I've shown is it actually hanging in the girls, I call it the nursery, even though, well, Diana will be 2 in November and Alaska will be 4 in November. So it's still kind of the nursery. And so it's already up and hanging. And I just want to again say thank you so much. My daughter was absolutely thrilled. Matter of fact, she asked me a couple times, she goes, well, did you just send her your project to finish for you? And I was like, no. And she was just overwhelmed as much as I was. And one of the best things is my daughter, her favorite color is purple. And there's no way that, you know, my friend could have known that Brittany's favorite color was purple. But this thing was matted in a really deep plum or like eggplant color. And Brittany was just like, oh, this is absolutely perfect, because you've been using some lavenders and things like that in the girls' room. And so it just was meant to be. And I'm just so grateful. And again, a big thank you. I failed to actually ask if I could publicly say her name, but she's a watcher. And again, I just, want to say thank you to her. So next, let's see. I've got some finished items that I'm going to actually show you first, and some fully finished, and we'll talk about framing a little bit. Let me just grab what I have done here. Okay, so as you'll recall, last year I stitched and finished a couple of pieces that I sent off to Total Framing, and I received those back, and I have not shown them yet. So I wanted to show you the first one, and this is the Gather In by Plum Street Samplers. I had stitched this on Mayflower Mocha from R&R Fabrics. Or, you know what? I take that back. It could have been American Chestnut. It was one of the two, either Mayflower Mocha or American Chestnut. But now I'm kind of thinking it might have been American Chestnut. It's been a minute. So the changes that I did make is right in here. It would have said Edna the Proprietress. And I took that out and just added another little flower. And under here, I only put Calliope as the horse's name. And I believe it had something else. I don't know, Calliope, a handsome steed, or something like that. But I did put the name, and I just put Calliope, and that was it. And everything else is pretty much the same. But it absolutely turned out beautiful. Now, I do not have glass on this one. It'll just come up. Well, it'll probably hang on my wall in here. But I absolutely love it, and they did a fantastic job. It's gorgeous, gorgeous. And the second one that I received back is the fourth in my series of Rhode Island style samplers that Paulette from Plum Street designs. And if you've watched my channel or followed my Instagram, you will know that I had stitched the first 3 that she has done. This has been my summer holidays stitch for the last 4 years, 4 summers, from Memorial Day to Labor Day. And this is the 4th. And so now I'm completely caught up with all of her Rhode Island samplers. I have the framing and fillet matching for all 4. And I believe that's where I'm going to stop with the framing and the fillet matching, I believe. I know Paulette is working on a design or 2 in the Rhode Island style, but I'm not sure if those particular ones I'm going to have match the 4 that I have, because I want to be able to display these together, and maybe the others will make a cool display somewhere else, and maybe I'll have those match. But I think right now that's kind of my plan. But I absolutely love it. As you can tell, I do have these under museum glass, and Terry and Sherry just did a fantastic job, and I'm just super, super thrilled. I love it. So those were my professionally framed. Let me show you some of my framing. I had shown you 2 pieces, one being here, the MH 1860 sampler that I actually pinned and framed myself. I think I showed that to you in May, and I think there was one more. What else was it? You're probably saying, I know what it was, but I cannot remember. So let me look back and see if I can see what it was. Oh, it was Liberty 1776 by Little House Needleworks. That's actually downstairs in the middle of a vignette. So I did not grab it and bring it up, but let's move on. The next one that I had ordered a frame for and a fillet was for my finish of Folksy Thomas. This is a Teresa Kogut design, and like I said, I ordered the frame and the fillet, and because of these little corners on this particular design here, I wanted it framed super tight. And so I, ordered the frames, came home with the dimensions, cut my mat board, which, is just regular foam board, right? Or not mat board, I should have said foam board. My regular foam board, and sat one afternoon and did some pinning. And I think it turned out fantastic. Really pretty. Again, no glass on this one. It'll just be up, for the season only, and then it'll be wrapped and back into a box till the next year. Or maybe, if I've got room, I have a seasonal wall that's right over to my left. Maybe I'll just hang it on the seasonal wall. I don't know. I'm about out of space. But I do love this. I love the colors. I was happy with the frame result. And there you go. So when I picked up the frame for Folksy Thomas, I delivered or ordered 2 more pieces, 2 more frames. And I'll show you real quickly what I ordered for. Now, this one is an old finish. This is from the Tidal River series from By the Bay Needle Art. Been hanging in my whip closet or finish closet. I don't even know when. It's got to be 5 years at least, maybe even longer, probably longer than that. So I decided, well, this is ridiculous that this is just hanging, and it's on a Lugana, so it's not even going to take tons to stretch out for, you know, to get the wrinkles out of the linen or anything like that. So it should be easy. So I ordered a frame for that one, and I'm excited to be able to show you that. I thought I would be showing you that this time, but last Friday when I went to pick the 2 frames up that I ordered, I had ordered glass because that one is going to hang in my laundry room. In our laundry room, we have it done in a pale blue, and everything in there is kind of nautical themed, or we have pictures that my husband's father took because he was a fine art photographer during his retirement, and he had taken some really cool pictures of the East Coast lighthouses, and I have several of those in there, and so I thought this By the Bay would look really cool in there as well. But laundry room, so I wanted glass on it. And then there's another one that I'm getting ready to show you the finish for that I thought I would have the frame for, and when I got there, they had the frames ready. They looked perfect. And I said, okay, where's the glass? And the girl looks at me, oh, and then she looks at the ticket and goes, oh, you're right, they were supposed to include glass. So I have to go back and pick up the glass for them, but it, you know, it is what it is. So I'll show you the, you know, the finishes, and then we'll, you know, when I get them framed, you'll see them in their frames. So the other finish was my finish of North Pole by Kathy Barrick. You've seen me stitching this with a group of friends. We started on December 22nd, and I got mine finished. Yay! Now, I did not put the words North Pole down here. This is a gift for my oldest daughter. She and my mother-in-law shared a love of these very folk arty Santas, and my mother-in-law had a whole collection of the prim carved wood Santas that went all the way across her mantle at Christmas time, and my daughter absolutely loved those when she was a little girl. So I thought this would be perfect. So I have a dedication that I actually have written out that I will put on the back of the frame. But I did change the colors. I did darken his coat, and I substituted and used instead these. I did mine in DMC, not MPI, and I actually used. Let me look. I'm looking. 355 DMC 355 for his coat. Make it a little more Christmassy. So I have the frame. Just waiting on the glass. And when I have that in, I'll show that to you. But that was my first finish in June, and I was really happy to have that one done. My next finish in June has been a very popular design. When I sat down, when we got home, we were in Springfield where my mom lived for, I don't know, 5 days or 6 days, something like that. And we came back up. Brittany flew back to Italy and left out of Springfield. Savannah flew into Springfield but left out of Kansas City. So we had to come back to take her back, obviously, to the airport. So in the next, I don't know, came back like on Thursday evening. And then on Saturday, I went to pick up my stitching. I think it was Saturday. You know, the days of this month of June have just all run together. Let me look. When did I pick that up? Oh, wasn't even that weekend. You know what? It was that, well, it was Sunday the 16th. I thought, you know, I do want to kind of stitch, but I didn't have the heart at that point to pick up one of my big ginormous whips because, you know, it seems to be all I stitch are big ginormous whips projects. So I picked up this one. Faded Flag from October House Fiber Arts. I loved this design from the moment that I got the designer email for the shop, and I immediately said I'm going to stitch this one. And so I thought, you know what, this will be a quick and easy finish, and it was. I started it on the 16th and finished it on the 17th. And I stitched mine on 40 Count Saltbush by Fox and Rabbit. And I believe I used all the called for colors. I love this. So simple. So I actually was digging through, since I was doing some unpacking or placing and figuring out things in my craft room, I pulled out a whole bunch of patriotic fabrics. So I'm going to take a look at this, see if I can find a good fabric, and just go ahead and turn it into a long skinny pillow. But I really liked it. So it was a very enjoyable stitch and did not take, super long, and it was good therapy for me. So again, I refer back to comfort stitching. What brings you comfort? Okay. Third finish. And yes, I finished this on the 29th of June. Actually started it on the 29th and finished it on the 29th. And also got it framed. And that was this guy, The Summer Song, from out of the Souvenirs of Summer book from Blackbird Designs. And this is a great book. If you don't have it, I highly recommend you get it and put it in your stash, because there's a lot of projects. There's some really cool projects in here you can see. This one's a neat one. I actually have Summer Jubilee. I actually have tucked in here the linen to be able to stitch that one. And so that will be the next project that comes out of this book. But for now, I stitched that bird, the summer song. I stitched it on 40 Count Serial Starter, which is a linen by number 12 Stitch Co. And I think it turned out just beautiful. I used the called for thread colors, and in digging through my framing stash, I remembered that I had bought this frame at market from Old Colonial Designs just because I loved it, had no idea what I was going to do with it, but sometimes that's just the way it works. And I thought, when I saw this, I'm like, oh, you know what? It's a 4x4, hole. Maybe, just maybe, that bird will fit in there. So I ran upstairs and grabbed my bird and stuck it behind, and I was like, oh, this is going to be just perfect. And it is. I'm very happy with this. So it's a 4.5 by 4.5 hole on the back. And so I got my foam cutter out, and I cut a 4.5 by 4.5 square, stretched it, pinned it, and there you go. Beautiful, beautiful. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. And again, something that I framed. This frame was, I think, $7. Can't hardly beat that. And you can get foam core for 99 cents for a big old sheet of it. There you go. And so I have these pieces of foam core that I was going to show you. This is my foam core already cut for North Pole, and my foam core already cut for the By the Bay Tidal River piece. So it takes no time at all. And if you've got the patience, you want to save some money on, some framing, there you go. Stretch, 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 pin, 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 stretch, stretch, stretch. On bigger pieces, I will say that once I kind of get them somewhat placed, I will put a pin in each corner, and then I will actually loosely lace on the back. That holds it in place, the lacing does, until I then get it rearranged and on the board the way that I want it, because sometimes there's a lot of, and I count the threads from side to side and top to bottom to make sure I have the same number of threads in between. So it allows me to adjust, and then I begin to pin. And obviously I pin from the corners, keep pulling, pin a few more, pull, and you keep adjusting and whatever. And once I have it where it's pretty good, you know, with all of the pins in, and I pin about 1/4 inch apart. Then I actually cut off the lacing and trim up the back the way that I want to trim, and I'm good to go. So there you go. Just my little PSA today for maybe, you know, finding some little bit more inexpensive ways to frame your finished pieces if you choose to frame. Okay, we're moving right on here. About half an hour, so that's not too bad. Okay, so I'm actually going to just reset real quick because I've exhausted everything that was on my table and I need to reset. You're gonna hardly even know I'm gone. All right, okay, let's talk about some whips. What have I worked on since I last visited with you, which was, I believe, May 19th. Well, I always go to my book of days just so that I don't miss anything. And I look to see, because I write in here when I film so that I'm aware of what I've done in that, you know, amount of time. And then, you know, here's my May book. And then obviously I crossed over, you know, through June as well. And there's all my June. You can see I have a lot of empty days where I didn't pick up anything. But that's okay. So I keep this to kind of give me an idea of how much time I gave to something and, you know, what the progress was. The first thing I had picked up for only one afternoon, it was a Saturday afternoon, was Vibrant Flowers from Kathy Barrick. And this was a birthday start for my good friend Tara, who is Sully Stitches on Instagram and here on FlossTube. And this was a beautiful choice that she made for a birthday stitch. And of course, obviously, she's already finished. Oh, somebody's already shooting off fireworks. Okay, so my initial start was to do this corner. And then that was in April. And then it has sat for a while as I finished some other things up and worked on some assignments. But I picked it out, or I picked it up on a Saturday, I believe maybe at the end of May, maybe 1st of June. I can't remember for sure. Might have been 1st of June. And I added in this part and the greenery here and started going across here. And this is stitched on 40 count Small Potatoes by Lap and Loops. And I really am enjoying working on this linen, and I'm stitching with the called for NPIs. So this is Vibrant Flowers. And I obviously, you know, have a lot to do still. I have all of my whips separated by the beautiful bags that they reside in when I'm not stitching on them, just so that they're separated and I know exactly which bag they go back into. This is a Buckleberry Quilts bag, and I just love it. It's so pretty. The next thing that I gave actually quite a bit of time to is the gorgeous Live on Little by Plum Street Samplers. I actually received this as a retreat exclusive. Wow, 2 years ago now, so 2022. But I didn't start it then. I actually restarted it because I did just a tiny little start, and I just didn't like the linen that came with it. So I'm a 40 and 46 girl, and the linen that came with it was a 36, and that's just not my jam. I need to pull out my little board. Bear with me here just 1 second, so that I can pin this to the, or clip it to the board, and then it's easier to show you what's going on with it. Anyway, what I was saying is I'm just not a, you know, I will stitch on 36 now and again, but it's just not my jam. So I decided after last year's spring retreat that was also Paulette as the featured designer from Plum Street, and she gave us American Welcome, and they seemed to me to be almost companion type pieces. So I picked a new linen, and this is a Victorian motto. This is a 46 count. And I also substituted the linen that's in my American Welcome retreat kit with this same linen, only I believe I picked a 40 count for it because that's a smaller design. And I'm going to have them, you know, hanging together one day, hopefully. But this is the progress that I have made on Live on Little. And I believe that since I've last shown you, and, you know, I could be off a little bit, I have stitched the flag, I have filled in this yellow here, I have actually run the waves all the way across, I have added all of the house work here and the trees, and there's a seagull right here. And I'm going to put this up really close, maybe you can see some of that detail. There's the seagull. The seagulls are kind of almost hard to see. Oh, that's my needle, sorry. There we go. And I'm just going to tell you, this house, whew, you know, Paulette makes you work for these designs, but it is gorgeous. Each one of these little bricks is only 6 stitches, and then you got to change colors. So you can see that I, you know, would find a lot of the bricks in the same color and do those, and then find, and you know, pick another color and find a bunch of the bricks in those and do those. But it's going to be beautiful. Christy from Crosshatch Quilts, who's also part of my stitching group, just finished hers, and I think she just posted the picture of her finish maybe a day or 2 ago, and it is just stunning. So it just keeps me wanting to continue to work on this and get a finish. Now, reality tells me I'm probably not going to finish it this year, but I would love to have it finished and up on my wall for next summer. So we shall see how that goes. Okay, my next whip that has assignments attached to it, which I can tell you right now that if I was not doing this one with assignments, I probably would have already bailed. Not that I don't love it, because I do. I just don't think I would have hung on to it. But this is Dwelling Place. This is what it looks like. It's Teresa Kogut book. And it is beautiful. When I first saw the book come into the shop, the first thing I noticed was that border. Love those stars. And I remember talking to Teresa about it, and she said originally it did start out as a patriotic, but then as she kept designing, it kind of turned in more to an ode to home, so to speak. And this is my, kind of back up so you can see the whole thing. But this last June's assignment was, for me, as I was coming down this side, because we all kind of started in a little bit different places, but for me it was to finish the house. And that's all solid stitching. So I did get it finished. So for July, my assignment will be, it runs right down this part, will be to bring the border on over and finish this grass with, there's some animals in the grass that comes across the house. Gorgeous. And then we'll officially be halfway through. I'm stitching this one with the called for threads, and I'm stitching it on 40 count Embellish by Atomic Ranch Fabrics. And this one is in my gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous bag from Christy from Crosshatch Quilts. And occasionally she'll do a de-stash on Instagram. You need to watch out for that, but you got to be, you know, Johnny on the spot when it happens, because her bags go really fast. Okay, next, I'm hoping to finish this one. This was another group assignment stitch, and I might be bringing up the rear. Potentially one other person might still be stitching it. A couple people went ahead and just blasted through and finished. This is And Heaven and Nature Sing by Kathy Barrick. And it's gorgeous. It calls for the MPI silks. And I have given this two days, I guess, because today's the 4th, so I think only 2 days, maybe 3 evenings. And here's where I am right now. He's a lovely, lovely deer. Now, I think I had said this in one of my previous FlossTubes, and I'm just going to reiterate. This is supposed to be a ginormous tree. I didn't really care for that. So to me, he looks like he's kind of in the forefront with the forest going behind him. So I just filled in with a small tree to make it look like it's more in the background along with these. But what I have done in the last couple nights is all of this work and all of these trees, with the exception of these 3, those were already in there. And I can put that up a little bit closer. Let you see. He is indeed beautiful. So he's going to be, he will definitely get finished and, you know, ready to be framed for display this holiday season. So I'm not panicking over him just yet. I'm hoping to get a finish about, you know, this month, but we'll see. And then this is in a beautiful bag from Nikki's Notables. And I don't know if Nikki's making bags anymore. I think she's kind of been on a bit of a hiatus, but I love the top zip, which is really handy. So, gorgeous bag. And then Nikki, if you're still watching FlossTube and you're doing bags, I hope to see them again sometime soon. Okay, my Friday stitch. My Friday stitch with the Hawk Run ladies. I have been working on Shores of Hawk Run Hollow. This is a Carriage House Samplings design. And we are currently working on block 3. You will have seen some people show this, like Olivia from Pumpkin Hollow Quilts. It's really, really a cool design. I will work on that one probably continuously on Fridays, with every Friday being part of that rotation, probably for at least through August. And then in September, I may pick up Autumn at Hawk Run Hollow to be my, you know, at least 2 of the 4 or 5 Fridays, so I can get some work on the autumn as well. Let me show you where I am. I'm stitching this, and my needle is in it, so don't holler at me. But I'm stitching this on 40 count Old Gold, which is a linen by Fiber on a Whim. And I did miss, I think, 3 Fridays maybe in June, so I am woefully behind. But I'll get caught up. It's okay. This is my progress, which is not much to show for block 3. But I did get the block all the way around. I did the zigzagging that goes in here in the water and then started filling in water. So you can kind of see that. This is a tough one to stitch when you're stitching with the ladies, I will tell you. Unless you leave yourself some fill-in to do, I have found that there's been a couple of Saturdays I've had to spend frogging, because we get to, you know, yapping, as I call it, and next thing you know, I'm glancing at the wrong place on the chart and have stitched something totally wrong. So this Friday I will continue to do fill-in on the water, and I have just learned that unless there's fill-in to do, I'll have to, you know, not work on that one. it's just too, and you know, if you're using the silks, which I'm using the MPI silks, you know, when you have to frog silk, you ruin the silk most of the time. So I don't want it to become an even more expensive project. Okay, last thing, I promise, my big whip, my big one that I've been working on. If you are on Instagram or you've watched some FlossTube, there are some people who are stitching this with me, but I announced in beginning of May my Hollis' Summer Holiday Sal. And it started on Memorial Day with the finished goal, hopefully, of Labor Day. And I've had a lot of you stitch along with me. And I just am so gratified and pleased to know that you would be willing to do that. And so mine that I picked this year, because I did not have a Rhode Island sampler to stitch, was Liberty's Welcome. I'm sticking with Plum Street, my good friend Paulette. And I have always loved this. Every time anybody's ever shown it, it is just, or even when I'm in the shop and we're pulling charts and I have to pull this one, I'm like, oh, I love this one. And sometimes they just get in your head. And this one was. So I knew that this year, since I didn't have a Rhode Island, that I was going to start this one. And let me show you my progress. Get it pinned here. Okay, here's my progress on Liberty's Welcome. I'm pretty happy with where I am. I'll set this up. Oops, I'll set this up again. So you can kind of see that I am to the house for the most part, with the exception, obviously, of the grass. So, you know, one would say that could be halfway through. It's not really halfway through. It's about halfway through the design, but considering the solid stitching that has to be done in the grass and on the house, it's not halfway through as far as stitches are concerned. But I feel like from Memorial Day start through, I have not stitched on it this week at all. So I guess through Sunday, this past Sunday, which would be June. This is my work, and I'm pretty happy with it. I did get started on the house. I've got one stack, and I'm starting on the roof. And I'm saving the grass. I do have a stitching retreat coming up at the end of this month, July. A group of friends. We're going to Lebanon, Ohio, and I'm going to be spending 3-4 days together just stitching and seeing some history and enjoying each other's company. So I am planning ahead with some fill-in stitching so I don't have to come home and frog. But I absolutely adore this project and am excited to have this one finished. I am stitching this on, it's another number 12 Stitch Co. linen, and it's, I believe, a 40 count. And where is my project card when I need it? Here we go. It is, yes, number 12 Stitch Co.'s 40 count toasted mallow. And I am stitching it with the called for NPIs. It's one of the few that Paulette actually designed in NPI. I'll just show you that one more time because I love it, love it. So pretty. So pretty. Okay. All right. That was the piece de resistance, if you want to say. And that it concludes all of my whips. Okay, moving right along here. So you saw the hashtag for Hollis' Summer Holiday Sal. And I do look at that hashtag. I love to see everybody's progress. So, you know, please use it if you're stitching along, and post your pictures on Instagram or, you know, wherever, and tag me, or just use, at least use the hashtag, because I'm following the hashtag. I'd love to see them. Alrighty, and so there's another sale that I want to talk about that is coming up, and this one is Stitch the Summer Olympics, and it's hosted by Katie, the Naptime Stitcher. And I don't know that she has a specific hashtag for it, but it's just called Stitch the Summer Olympics. Again, hosted by the Naptime Stitcher. If you go over to her Instagram, her last post, I believe, is the schedule. And what she's done is she's picked out kind of a project for the day based on what event for the day is, I think, going to be the premiere event. So probably would be the event that gets the primetime coverage, if I'm guessing. And so I went through in my July calendar. My July is not very stickered up, just FYI. I do a little bit of stickering, but not a tremendous amount. And what I did was I wrote all of the things that you're supposed to do on each day. So on Friday the 26th, which is the opening ceremonies, it's either a new start or a 2024 start. You pick that one up. Saturday the 27th, you stitch on something patriotic. Easy to do at this time of year. Sunday, summer-related project. Monday, something with the colors of the Olympic rings, so your floss colors. Tuesday, something that's swimming or water-related. So, and it just keeps on going, and so I marked that at the bottom of my July calendar, and then I finished filling in everything. You'll see I've got writing on all of these days in August, all the way through to the closing ceremonies on Sunday the 11th. And you finish that with a project with a planned 2024 finish to coincide with the finish of the Olympics. So I could actually, believe it or not, I could actually fit almost every one of these parameters or these criteria for each day with my Liberty Welcome. And so my Liberty Welcome will probably be a lot of this stitching. Favorite designer, my favorite designer is Paulette. Project with an animal that has a horse. Patriotic stitching, you know, things like that. So there's just maybe 2 or 3 that I don't have that particular project will fit the criteria. So I'm going to pick a couple others, but I also may pick just a couple other as well for some variety and fun, and not just always stitch on the same thing. But if you're looking for something fun to do, you know, I think it would be great to participate in that. We're big fans of the Summer Olympics in my house, so I'm looking forward to that. So, all right. So I wanted to make sure I plugged that. And again, you know, give Katie, the Naptime Stitcher, a quick follow if you'd like. And she did this as her second time, I think. Second year of doing this. Okay. Just real quick, I had a tiny bit of haul that I thought I would actually show. I don't usually show a lot of haul, but occasionally when I find something that I'm pretty excited about, or I really like, and I want to pass that on, I try to do it almost as a little bit of a PSA. But this one, I'm sorry, but this is, I know everybody's probably seen it, but if you have this in your hands, it is gorgeous. This is a gorgeous book from Teresa Kogut, Hello America. Some of the most beautiful designs. There is one I wanted to show specifically. In addition to the sampler that's on the cover, I absolutely am in love with this Allegiance. That eagle is stunning, and those flags, absolutely gorgeous. I want that one stitched and on my wall. Beautiful. Teresa is just a fantastic designer, and I can't say enough about about her designs, but she really knocked it out of the ballpark with this book. So I have one of those in my stash, and it's actually available in the shop if you don't have a shop already or you haven't already purchased it. The next thing, sticking with the patriotic theme, is my friend Tara introduced me to Como Stitches. That's COMO Stitches. And she has a shop on Etsy. She puts bags on Fridays, I believe it is, Friday evenings. And I have been going through my stash and picking out and doing kitting up like some little smalls and things like that and putting them in a big bag with a window so that I can see what's in there. And then when I feel the need, and Summer Song was an example from the Souvenirs of Summer book, to just have a quick little small that I want to stitch or add to, just to break up some of the larger design stitching that I'm doing. I thought it'd be great. So I bought this smaller bag, because then what I can do is pull out one of my smalls, throw it in a small bag, and I leave my big bag intact with the things that are, kitted and ready. And this is just a great little small bag and beautiful fabric, well constructed. So Como Stitches, you can check her out. Because I've been digging through my whips and kind of categorizing and figuring out what I have as a whip in each season, what I want to get done, making a plan for those to get them done in a certain amount of time. I thought, I like the fact that I can have these themed bags, and I had purchased quite a few that were beach themed, maritime themed. I showed you one of the maritime compass that I had stitched from Stacy Nash a couple of times ago, or maybe it was even in my May video. So anyway, I was digging, looking around on Etsy, because I usually go to Etsy first if I'm, looking to purchase something from a maker. And I found a lady. Her name is Bev, and she makes bags, and she makes beautiful bags. Look at that. This is gorgeous. I wanted one for my beachy themed summery projects, and it's a beautiful bag. She picks beautiful fabrics, quilted, and with every bag you order, she includes a matching ort catcher. And I just thought, well, that was so awesome. And just beautiful. So I was very happy to get this bag. And I also ordered, she has a couple different sizes you can get. Look at this one. This is a great fabric. Halloween. Can't get enough of Halloween. And this one I ordered with the vinyl front. This is a 15 by 15 bag. And as you can see, I have some projects that are already kitted and ready to go that are in here. I can go pull them out, put them into another smaller, bag, but leave this bag intact. And I'm very happy with this, and I'm very happy with her bags. Her stitching is beautiful. Here is her card if you want to check her shop out, and I hope that's focusing. It's called Stitch in Peace. Her name is Bev, and she makes beautiful bags. So there's my little PSA / haul for this time. Okay, so I'm 2 last times giveaway, and I did not get organized well enough to do it kind of a giveaway for this time, and I'm not sure when I'm going to be back on. So I like doing, my FlossTubes at the end of the month to kind of do a monthly wrap up. So I will shoot for that at the end of this month, but I do know I'm going to be in Ohio at the end of the month. There's another couple FlossTubers who are going to be there as well. I don't know, maybe we'll do a little quick joint one or something. But anyway, I did have a giveaway for this time, so I'm going to go ahead and do that now. And as I was putting in, the keyword, which was stockings, a lot of you asked questions regarding stockings. Does anybody wear stockings anymore? very rarely that I ever see. At the funeral, my sister, my oldest sister, who's 69, wore stockings. And I was a little surprised because it was hot. But she said, I have white legs. And she said, and I'm old enough that I was taught you wear stockings. So I was like, okay. So other than that, I haven't seen stockings come out on anybody in a long time. Somebody asked where to display stockings. Like when you have stitch stockings. I've seen them on trees. I've seen people attach them and make almost like a, like a bunting or a garland across windows, across a fireplace. I think you can get really creative with all kinds of things and where to put stockings. Maybe you just want to hang one or two on a hook or something like that. But I thought that was an interesting question. If you want to share your ideas on how you might hang stockings, that would be great. And I can pass that along. But for this particular giveaway, it was Betsy's Stockings, which is from Plum Street Samplers. And I've seen her little models of these, and they are adorable. Each stocking is only 49 by 124, so they're little. And I believe, now these show to be stitched on 36 count, but I believe she actually had 2 sets of models. One was on the 36, and somebody had stitched them really tiny, maybe on a 46. And oh my gosh, they were to die for. They were so tiny and sweet. So anyway, I digress. Betsy's Stockings, Plum Street. The winner was the Virginia Stitcher. So if you are the Virginia Stitcher, please email me your mailing address. I'll have my email address in the description box below, and I'll get that right out to you. Again, it was the Virginia Stitcher, and congratulations. And I hope you'll enjoy stitching some stockings. Okay, like I said, I don't have a giveaway for this next time, but just, quick recap. I'd love to hear what you think of as comfort stitching. Again, seems to be a prevalent theme going around. And if you have suggestions, I did get some suggestions for some things that people would like to see, and everybody really seemed to love Paulette's patriotic stitching parade that I did. I want to say maybe it was at the end of April. I definitely would be interested in doing something else like that, and I can very well easily do that. If you're getting ready to dive into autumn stitching and considering your projects for autumn and Halloween, if you're a Halloween stitcher, I was kind of thinking maybe putting together a montage of some Halloween stitching as well. So or not Halloween, but maybe fall, seasonal, autumnal stitching. Maybe I should say it that way. So let me know your thoughts, and I'm so glad to have seen everybody. I want to again say thank you for all the expressions of sympathy that I received. I can tell you, we received, obviously flowers and things like that, at the funeral and whatever that were from family and friends. But every single card that I received to the house was from a stitcher. And people that I don't know in person or have not met in person, but have become friends through, FlossTube and Instagram and things like that. I've had somewhat from retreat people. But I'm so glad to be part of this community. And again, I want to say a very big thank you. So take care. Have a safe and happy 4th of July. Happy Independence Day. Enjoy and remember to create every day. And until next time, take care. Bye-bye.